Let's see. Are we ready? Here we are. We are live, everyone.
Goody.
Welcome.
Live.
Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this evening. We have an action-packed show, and ladies, you've got no idea. We've got some stonker questions.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, there's some that we weren't able to address last week, and we've got some crackers. And so there's that. So welcome, everyone. As you will notice, Diane is not here with us this evening. And she's fine. She's good. She might be taking just a little hiatus for now. There's things that she wants to sort out, look at, etc., and that are personal to her. So if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask, and she'll be in touch. But we just won't have her tonight. And also as well, she's got a wonderful surprise that she wasn't expecting. And it's going to be going somewhere very, very nice. But we leave those details. We leave those details there. So, so a little break from Diane for now until further notice. But she's all good. She's all good. Right, ladies.
Well, before we launch in, there's a little tribute I'd like to pay, please.
Go for it.
Last night, one of the greatest Aboriginal singer-songwriters who's ever lived passed away last night. Archie Roach. Blessings to Archie. He used to stay with us a lot back in the day, and he wrote hundreds of songs, but his anthem song was They Took the Children Away, because he was a stolen child, as was his wife, because the Australian government ripped Aboriginal babies from their families until the 70s. We're not talking ancient history, right?
Wow.
Until the 70s. So people are still living this hell.
Yeah.
And he was the ambassador for that. And so I just want to say a prayer for Archie Roach. If you want to have a good cry, you can look it up on YouTube. They Took the Children Away.
I've heard of that, actually. I've actually heard of that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. And obviously he was a legend.
Legend.
You know?
And I didn't sleep last night. I should have turned my phone off. It went off all night. Archie.
Oh, bless.
What a man. Oh, he was divine.
Oh, great figures. So definitely, I'll do a bit more research on that. But I have heard about him, and there will be many of our viewers tonight that would have also heard of him as well, because I think he's really quite one of those big figures, wasn't he? One of those giants of Australian culture. So commiserations there and stuff like that. What I'll quickly do is do some shout. Well, first of all, let's do the basic introductions, which is tonight we have Lady G with us, of course, looking super stylish, loving this lovely
the goddess.
Oh, she's so elegant. And of course we have the mischievous Lena Rodriguez, who's seeming very sprightly for your Sunday morning over there, I must say.
Oh, that's because I haven't slept. I'm still going from last night.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Is that coffee in there? I hope it's coffee.
Yeah. I trust it's coffee. Yeah.
No problem. And I'll just do a few quick shout outs before we begin the show. We're going to go at breakneck speed as usual. We may slow down if we have to, but it's going to be at speed. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Jane, Callista, Paula, Carol, Nicola, and Annie, some of my clients this week. I just want to share this with you guys. What's happening is I'm becoming more psychic. I've always kind of kept it a bit quiet.
It happens.
With practice.
It goes in leaps. You plateau and then goes in leaps when you're doing this.
I mean, crazy stuff. And just to announce as well, the deep dive, the winner of the poll, I did this little poll for who people want the deep dive to be next. You know, when I certain undesirables charts, yeah? And it's Matt Gates came out. Matt Gates came out as the winner. But Val Demings was a close second. So that video.
Good.
Yes, I'll do her next. It was only 2% in it. So that video will be out tomorrow. Okay. At some point. Let's get stuck in. Ladies, are you ready?
Absolutely.
Right, we're going to start now. As you know, folks, the ladies do not know what I'm going to throw at them tonight. And obviously what I'm throwing them at tonight is what you guys have basically thrown at me. So let's get started here. So question number 1. And this is coming from Susie Hill. Susie Hill. And this is so pertinent. When will countries react to climate change seriously? How long till we see benefits? Now, that was a question from last week, but how pertinent. We have seen, and again, well, not again, first time I'm saying it, but commiserations, of course, to the people of Kentucky who have lost huge floods. Now, we know there's all the politics and stuff behind it, but these people have lost a lot and they're facing a very tough challenge from nature right now. So here we are. Let's pull some cards on that and then we can expand on the topic. Yes. So I'll read it again. Susie Hill, when will countries react to climate change seriously? How long till we see the benefits? Ooh, tough question to open the show. And whoever's ready to go first, just let rip. Thank you to everyone as well in the chat. I will click up on your comments once we get into the show. Please pull with us as well if you've brought your tarot cards.
Yes, if you want to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're covering some big questions, guys, big ones.
Well, I'm ready. I don't get times. Okay.
Yes.
I'm don't ask me for timing. But what I have going in, you know, a lot more heartbreak coming around the corner with this. More stuff is coming. It's continuing to move forward. The challenge is, again, people not acting, people in retreat and not moving forward. The double-edged sword is one's coming out, talking about it.
Yeah.
And they just have to they don't like any options on the table. And the whole thing is just a mountain of, you know, non-doership. So
yeah, look, exactly.
You know, it's just, they don't like the options, but nothing's getting done and people are just retreating. And it's like, it needs to be really catastrophic before something is going to happen with them.
Yeah.
Well, I'll kick off with the judgment card here. Judgment.
Wow.
And so I always think with this card, because it's at the end of the major arcana cycle, it's talking to the collective. We will be judged if we fail to embrace this issue. You know, it's a collective issue.
Absolutely.
The loss and the grief with the 5. Then come the King and Queen of Swords. So it's unusual to get a pair of the same suit, you know, side by side in a spread. So this is about coming to grips with it, you know, someone having to be the grown-up and step up for this. And the last card was the Fool, which is good and bad. Bad in the sense we've all been foolish to let it get this far, but the Fool is new beginnings. And I've been saying for 10 years, even the big companies, the first big companies that embrace green in a big way will make money. They'll make fortunes. You know, when they're the brave country that steps forward and does it, etc., etc. So the urgency is here with the Judgment card. It is now 3 minutes till midnight. We need to get on with it.
Exactly.
Indeed. Similar cards for me. And look at this. I've pulled 5 cards. My decks are well shuffled and they're all reversed. I mean, doesn't that just say something?
Say something.
Just say something.
Non-action.
Indeed. So, pretty much non-action. So here we are. People are still denying the truth. Let's just look at it that way. Sword of truth. There it is, upside down. It's like come on. How many houses have to burn down? How many places have to flood? You know, I was watching a special today on Sky UK Sky News, and they were talking about Kolkata, and they were talking about how people from the surrounding islands are cramming into Kolkata, but Kolkata can't cope.
Yes.
The islands are sinking, and over 1 million people have moved because of climate change stuff. But yet, you know, there's still denial even out there. If we look, the obstacle card, my second card here, Knight of Swords, which would normally be what? Rushing forward into action. This is the card you would almost want to see the right way up, wouldn't it? Even though it's aggressive.
Exactly.
The opposite of that, it's almost like there are still people aggressively holding everything back.
Backpedaling.
It's almost backpedaling. Look at the next card.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I think, you know, I mean, this is almost the kind of, what's this? This is oh, I couldn't find it. I was going to press the button, but it's too late now. The moment passed. Anyway, but look, when they say, if there is one positive connotation one may be able to draw from the Tens of Swords, is they say when it's reversed, it can mean a healing. It looks like that they're falling out. Like Lena, look at this. Who do I get next? I get the Fool.
Yeah. So we're at that cusp. We can
really
turn it around.
We really are. And I always believe any card that's upside down, we can turn it the right way up. But really, it's going to take this collective leap of faith of everyone on the planet. We are reaching this stage now where we all need to pull in the same direction at once. And we can't have some people being like, well, I might reduce the thingy bob in 2030,
these stupid targets.
You know, it's too late. The world is on fire already. It's like, how much more can we actually take? And as you guys know, in the UK, we hit 40 degrees for the first time in UK history. And we've got records going back to the 1700s. It was extraordinary. I've never had to sleep between two wet towels in my whole life.
Well, yes. Welcome to my childhood, Hoagie.
Really? It was terrible. And the towels were drying out. That's how hot it was. It's just extraordinary. And here we are, last card here, which of course is the Six of Wands, but reversed. So, okay, look, we understand, look, this is the opposite of victory, really basic. However, on the optimistic side, what this suggests is maybe we can still turn this around. It's not too late, but man, we're going to roast for a little while. Ladies, I throw it back to you. Any more to add to that?
Yeah, I've got something to say about that too. That the problem is what's happened when governments were expanding after the war, when there was affluence, it's because there were bipartisan decisions on education, health, and energy. No matter who got in, they had to continue their 20, 30-year plans on that. Now nothing's bipartisan, and this is what the hold-up is. You cannot get people to agree on that to go forward, and it's not going to change till no matter who gets voted in is part and committed to a climate change plan in their country.
Somebody was just saying in the Congo they want to sell off the jungle.
No,
that'd be right.
Yeah.
And Brazil cutting down trees faster than we can count, and all of that. It's just shocking. And we keep putting in new coal mines, I mean, Australia's so stupid.
It's just extraordinary, isn't it? And here, Marion is saying here, and I think it's good, we humans often deny the truth until the waters rise, etc., like in Pompeii and other places. Often there's no safe place to run to. So it's like, I mean, as we have seen, before we move on to the next question, particularly in regards to things like GOP and the duck l'orange, the capacity for human denial of the obvious is extraordinary. Isn't it? Let me move my camera back a little bit because I'm looking like an absolute giant here. You see, I'm a bit too high. Never mind.
That's okay. You just be high and mighty over there in your
I like it to be even. I like it to be And let me move over a little bit as well. Sorry, excuse me. There we are. That's a bit better. I feel a bit more balanced out now with Lena's glasses. Just
yeah, we've got the glasses going on.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. So question number 2. Now, as you guys know, I always like to throw in a bit of an international question. So we are taking our almost spiritual airplane to Panama. Yeah, Panama. Why are we talking about Panama? So this question came in from Siempre, and she asked, can we look into the unrest in Panama? So un momento, folks. Let me just get my laptop. It's the screen closed. Now, basically in Panama, they're going through this huge social unrest. One moment. Oh God, you know when it's one of the things when you put in your password and you have to, there we are. Sorry.
While you're doing that, Julie says, yes, America's obsession with living in the suburbs is gobbling up woodland, wetlands, shoreline, you know, taxing the resources more and more.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I wasn't able to speak while I was accessing my password. You know what it's like, you know, it just being up here. So I want you to, you may or may not be able to see the picture. Can you see that?
Oh,
okay, yeah.
Protests. So I'm just going to give the context of when you guys are, so we know what we're reading on, and of course for the audience. So protesters angry at the high cost of living in Panama ended their 3-week blockade. This has been a 3-week blockade of major roads on Tuesday. So on Tuesday they ended it. Authorities said as negotiations between government and groups behind the demonstrations continued. So this is coming from France 24. This is the source that I'm using. Yeah. So Security Minister Juan Manuel Pino told AFP, so in a short message, that the roads are all open for the first time since the protests began. So it says here, Panama has been gripped by protests over the cost of living, corruption in the worst social crisis since the American invasion of the country in 1989. So since the unrest began, protesters have blocked various roads, most notably the Pan-American Highway, which connects Panama with Costa Rica and the country's main route for trade and the transport of goods.
Right.
Wow. There's also as well in Iraq, many people have also stormed, I think, the president's place there because there's some influential religious leader and they're protesting over similar things.
So what exactly is our question?
So it's just like, can we look into the unrest Siempre has asked? So let's just maybe just pull some cards and just to see where it's going.
Where it's going.
Let's see what's happening in Panama.
And as many of you will know, I've been talking a lot about that conjunction between Uranus, Mars, and Rahu, causing all sorts. And guess what? It becomes exact today. Today and tomorrow, they're all going to be at 24 degrees of sidereal Aries. Aries is all about what? War, conflict, passion, arguments, Uranus, uprisings, rebellions, shocks and surprises. You know. Who's ready to go?
Well, I can go here.
Perfect.
All right. I'm using the Japaridze deck, so this is the image for the pages. I've got 2 pages here. It starts off with the youth carrying fire in their hands, sort of symbolic of the protest here. It's a cultural war going on, a full-blown cultural war between the rich and the poor. Okay, so there we go. Panama, like so many countries, has fabulous resources that get siphoned off. I don't think this is going to resolve quickly. This is the Ace of Fire. I think the fire's going to keep burning politically for some time about the corruption, because that's what it always comes down to. 27 people make a fortune and 1 million people suffer. This is the problem everywhere.
Yeah.
They're going to offer the protests something. There's also going to be hostilities towards the protesters with this card, but they're going to offer them something in the end, but it's not enough. It's pathetic, right? Absolutely not enough. And they're not going to be satisfied with that. And to a certain extent, I think we're going to see this continue. I think probably the bulk blockades will stop and so forth, but the fight will continue. And it's about economic injustice, corruption and injustice.
Yeah.
Wins.
Wow.
Okay, that's me.
Lady G, what do you have for us?
Yes, well, it comes down to this is usually my card for the White House. So, the ones that are in charge, governmental things, the challenges, financial, and, taking care of the country. They're waiting for the ship to come in, but it's looking at the truth of the situation. And usually this is my card, it can be for higher things, but I think in this, they probably have a narcissistic type government again, because it's a bird in the mask, the false face. So what I got for underneath of it all is coming to an end, looking at the past. Judgment is coming up, and they've cooled on this because they see that they've just been chained by these egomaniacs that are running the government.
Yeah. And let's see here as well. Someone, Eve Nevada said, the youth are going to vote all those old timers out.
Yes,
we will see. We will
Yeah.
see, because what is the default? What is the ultimate shadow, isn't it, of human beings? Is that we hold on. Yeah, we hold on.
Yes.
Even to things that are wrong-headed and whatever it is, there we are. So with my cards, similar energies, ladies. So look who comes first out of the gate. 5 of Wands. Straight up. Conflict, dispute, disagreement.
Yes.
You can see all of the different factions arguing with each other, protesting. Literally, you can see this literally almost looks like a conflict and a protest, doesn't it? So you can see Spirit is really keyed into this question. But to extend the theme, which both of you ladies have established, look what comes in the obstacle position. Surprise, surprise. Yeah,
Yes.
hoarding money, corruption. Because here, obviously, now, if we're pulling for ourselves or a client, when the ace card of coins comes up like this, it's like, oh, this is nice, isn't it?
Look.
Ooh, nicey. But it's come up in the obstacle position, and the card obviously is before that. So they're fighting what? The corruption, the people that are just obsessed with money and stuff like that. Thank you, Edie, so much for your donation. That's wonderful. Thank you. And of course, that all gets shared as well, just with everyone who partakes in the show. Next card. Look at this, Judgment.
Yeah.
So here, it's like the people of Panama have just been like, you know what? We've had enough of this. These cards are actually quite literal. They really don't take interpretation, do they? They're just saying what they say on the tin. So the people have had enough. And judgment is coming. Why? Because look, people are trying to get away with things. The 7 of Swords, scheming, conniving. What a lot of these people do is that they tend to hollow institutions and their cultures from the inside out, either by selling things off or just basically stealing. And then if we look here, the outcome card, we've got the Page of Wands, but it's reversed. Yeah. Now, the Page of Wands, of course, deals with the youth and, that youthful energy. All pages are youthful. And this can be the youthful orator or education or things like that. So here, in a way, I think this is saying that people feel that their voices are being stifled.
Yes.
And one of the things that you guys may have noticed is that a lot of big companies or big corporate interests are using the algorithms against people to stop the full implementation of people's voices. This is the thing. It really is. It's a subtle one. It's a pernicious one. But this suggests to me that the authorities obviously want to keep the voices down. But I think things will just continue. Like you said, Lena, they'll come up with something, and Lady G, they'll come up with something, and then it will, something else will arrive. Oh my goodness. So many. Thank you. I've just got to say thank you.
Thank you for these donations. Thank you, Running Sloth, for Anne H.
Blessed Child as well. Thank you so much. Julie M. Thank you so much. Just a flurry came in. Wow, like confetti. Carmela Katuti as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, are we ready for the next question? Anything you want to add to that before we move on? I always like to check. Good. All right, let's move on to the next question. Now this
Blessed Child. Thank you. Thank you all.
Now it's getting, because you know I like to leave the bigger, juicier questions near the end. So this one, I was just like, this is a cracker. This is a cracker. Now, where is it? Question number 3. Where art thou? Oh, wait, I need to go. Because the questions have been coming in all week. Literally, I've got pages of this stuff, guys.
Wow, yeah.
Pages. So here we are. Question number 3. Here we are. So this is coming from Sharon Donnelly, who somehow...
yes, she's regular.
Yeah. And Sharon, you struck gold again. You've all struck gold, but she comes up with questions. Anyway, so Sharon Donnelly asks, that golf tourney, you know, LIV, so have you heard about this? It's this new golf tournament that's been set up by the Saudis.
Oh, yes.
You heard about this?
Absolutely scandalous.
Oh, my goodness. You know, you just wouldn't believe it.
There's another thing besides the golf tourney. There was a thing, I don't know if it's real, but Ivana is buried on the golf course.
Don't. Can someone confirm that, please?
Oh,
no, look at Hoagie's face.
They want to charge her estate for taking care of it. And for the funeral, they said don't spend money. I'm like,
what? Oh my!
They said yes, she is. Yes.
And don't you love it?
On the freaking golf course.
It is staggering, isn't it? I mean, I'm speechless for a moment. I'm sure it'll come back.
Exactly. It's just like, oh my God, it's just incredible. Okay. Wow. You know what?
Well, yes, you have a golf tournament, and as the Yeti himself said, really, the odd murder and dismemberment doesn't mean anything. Really, where do you go?
Also, he said, 9/11, well, we don't really know what happened with that. We're not really sure,
Well, yes, we are, Pet.
Yeah.
But it's bigger than Trump, because Bush and the others refused to go for the Saudis at the time. And no one since has gone for them. So we can't even just blame Duck L'Orange. We really can't. It's an American blind spot in terms of foreign policy. Yeah,
indeed. And it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out, isn't it? So, I mean...
Oh, sorry, just adding to that story. I heard he wants it to be called a cemetery because then he won't have to pay taxes on it.
Exactly.
Oh,
no. For taking care of it, for taking care of the gardening and everything around. Yeah, charging her estate.
Don't.
You know what? Like that.
It's just like a flat thing. It's not even really a good headstone. It's one of those little flat things in there. The cheapest you could get away with. Yeah.
Oh,
it's just
my God.
Do you remember? My old dad used to say, "If you live long enough, you see it all." And there we have it.
Do you remember when I invented that word a couple of weeks ago? This is definitely another Trump blasphemy.
Yes.
He always thinks of that. Yeah.
How does his brain work?
The money. Wow. Okay, so let's forgive our collective
Well, I don't know that we even have to read on it. I think the rave is enough. I mean, truly.
No, but there is more. There is more.
Oh, there is more.
Oh, okay.
So the golf tour. So forgive the collective tangent, guys, but it's just so astonishing that we were all knocked for six by that one. So Melania and the three eldest kids and Jared came out for all that excitement with the Saudis. Yeah, that's what she's written. So were they finalizing plans for the Von Trump family's great exodus overseas?
Oh,
and let's have a look at that.
yeah.
Let's have a look at that. And thank you guys for the.
Anita also says, with the golf course burial, there's a rumor that there's a loophole then that you can't sell the property. Oh, that'd be right. So when he loses everything in these court cases, they can't sell it because it's Ivana's resting place. Oh, God.
God. Honestly, it's just,
Well, they'll just divide it up. Just leave one tract where she's at.
Well, look, one thing I'll say, consistent. He's consistent.
Yes. That you've got to give him that. Yes.
wow.
Sorry, what was the question?
Anybody that can make money off of his ex-wife's funeral is.
The donate button was there.
remains.
Yeah, the donate button was there. So as we still respond, but yes, were they finalizing plans for the Von Trump family's great exodus overseas? Oh,
Okay, let's have a look.
Yes.
this Duck L'Orange. Honestly,
Look, crazy.
Duck L'Orange. You know, when he leaves this earth, one day I'm sure we will miss the laughs. And just as a little tangent before we pull, someone said to me cheekily, and maybe we can read on it next week. They said, when Trump passes, I really hope he doesn't get a state funeral. Yeah, because I'm really worried
that would be repulsive.
Absolutely.
Although Linda G's always seen him in a glass coffin, probably symbolically and stuff.
Yeah.
But look, there'd only be 12 people there, wouldn't there, really?
Right, exactly. And to which I replied, because it came in the comments, and I replied to her and I said, what Duck L'Orange deserves is a drive-through McDonald's for his food.
Yes.
That's what, maybe with a bit of garnish with ketchup as well. Anyway, let's pull these cards. Who's ready to go?
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Okay, are the Saudis wanting to provide refuge to Duck L'Orange and his family?
Oh, Lord.
This guy. Wow. I wondered why he wanted her buried there, but of course, if they can't legally, it means he's like, I can't be evicted. This is my get out of jail free card.
Oh, my word.
Oh, look at this.
Yes.
Look at this. Do you
want to go? Let's flip it. You go first, Logan.
I'm going to go first on this one. Okay. What we've described, the cards have perfectly outlined. It doesn't get any better than this.
Yes.
Card number one. Look at that.
It's funny.
King of Pentacles. This is Duck L'Orange. Quite literally, Duck L'Orange there being like, yep, all about the money. Dirt is gold. Quite literally, yeah? We can just take this straight off as Duck L'Orange. Look at the obstacle position. Look, it's the King of Swords. So here, but what it means is he knows he's got his legal troubles, so he's insuring himself. He's insuring himself against his legal troubles. Because literally the Pentacles does deal with the element of what? Earth. And what he's done is by putting his wife's remains on the golf course. He's like, this is going to protect me against legal jeopardy. Are there no lengths to which this man will sink? Here is literally Ivana, yeah? Literally under the soil, just being like, my goodness, why did I marry this man? Yeah. So he's literally, it's because look, what is the Queen of Pentacles? It's about what? Security, investments, looking after the earth. The earth. Quite literally, the earth So bless her, it looks like Ivana has turned up in this reading. Duck L'Orange is feeling very smug about this. He's like, ha, he, ha, yeah. But also as well, there is this, because look, this is the smug merchant. So even though we're joking here, there is a deep unseemliness to this. A deep unseemliness.
Yeah.
Where, of course, he's happy to take money from anyone and anything. And this is him happy with those deals. And this can maybe also reflect as well, maybe the Saudis' satisfaction as well, because, you know, they're trying to soften their image as always. And this could also be the wider Trump family. But look, Major Arcana turns up, but Wheel of Fortune reversed. So even though we've got all of these things where I think Trump is like, well, I'm good, it's not going to quite turn out as he expected. And the backlash has started already, hasn't it? Families are like, we don't like this. We don't think it's good. Now, of course, that's September 11th and stuff like that. And they want their justice. And I'm glad that the families are now recognizing just what a you-know-what Duck L'Orange is. Better late than never. But it's really galling from them. And this is changing his fortunes. This is a really not going down well. Ladies, over to you. Who's ready next?
Go, Lady G.
Okay, well, they would have loved to do that, loved to escape to, Dubai. And they did check into it as much as they could. Wow. They investigated it, but too many loopy-loo things going up in the air with them. The double-edged sword was the dark money and things. Outcome is they got tied up with it. Clarification they would have loved to, but a government would step in. And besides that, if you've ever lived over there, I spent 6 months in Dubai. They don't mess around. You break a law there, and you are, that's it. You're done. They don't care who it is.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. This is the only thing I think stopping them moving en masse overseas. We have, kicking off with the Fool. It's almost a foolish option, that they think they can just get on a plane and get away. Here's the 10 of Swords with all the bats in the tree. Not so easy. But wait for these next two cards.
Sorry. With the bats.
Bats in the tree. Then we have the Death card, meaning I think death to the idea.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And then the 5 of Swords, which is conflict. I think they're fighting with each other over it. Yes, we can do it. No, we can't. You can, but
some
I
want
can't.
To go, some want to stay.
Yeah. And then finally, is there any more money in it to be had if we move? Because that's how they think.
Yep.
How to save the money. But just to finish that off, this is just my opinion, not the cards. I've always thought Jared and Ivanka will go to Israel and the rest won't leave stateside because they can't. I mean, the Yeti can't leave McDonald's behind, like he can't. He's too old. And Don Jr. wouldn't know what day it is anyway.
True.
Oh,
So I think that to sum it up, I think there were conversations about that. It would have been, the Middle Eastern representation going, you can always come and live. I've got a spare palace, come and live here and do all this. But
we shall see. And particularly as well with this conjunction, and of course, here we are, trying to predict, but this conjunction between Uranus, Mars, and Rahu is one of the most unpredictable that you can get. So of course we're reading the energy now, and we might be looking a few months into the future and going, oh my goodness, do you remember what we spoke about? What we thought couldn't happen did happen. So all bets are off, folks. You never know. You never know.
And Linda says in the comments, I love this, when will Donald start selling tickets for a tour of Ivanka's grave? And will he also sell snacks and drinks and souvenirs? He's going to turn it into a Gracelands.
Oh my. That is right. Okay. We shall see. Look, Ivana, may you rest in peace as best you can. But yes, there could be a fairground attraction coming to you very soon.
Can you just see her up there looking down on this going?
Oh, she must.
I don't think she'd be surprised.
No, she wouldn't be.
Was his equal in her day, right? Let's just leave it at that.
She wouldn't be surprised. She wouldn't be surprised. And we've got over 1,000 with us tonight as well.
Wow, that's awesome, guys. Thanks.
So look, we've got a cracker coming up. So they all go up in intensity here. And this has come from light vocation. Yeah. Light vocation. So get ready. So so the question is, SCOTUS resumes their session in October and will rule on the Moore versus Harper, which would give legislators the ability to determine the outcome of elections instead of the voting public. Horrifying, she says. What will the outcome be? Ooh.
Just before we get into that, because this is a really big, serious question. And I've been reading about it, trying to get my head around what it actually means.
Mm-hmm.
And so just another way of looking at it, it's giving total power to each state to say, well, the people wanted so-and-so for president, but here in our state, we are deciding. The state legislators will decide the outcome of an election. It's the end of democracy, okay? So it's really important to understand how huge this is.
Yeah, it's massive. And
you have to keep reading on it. We'll have a toe in the water to say that this is actually massive.
Yeah, it's huge. And also as well, she said it comes back in session in October 24th or 5th, forgive me, 24th or 5th, or around that time, we have another eclipse. We have the solar eclipse. Yeah. So SCOTUS could come out with some, eclipses can be shocking, unpredictable, shocking. And then 2 weeks later, we have the lunar eclipse, which falls exactly on the 8th of November, which is the day that the voting happens. So let's see. Big, serious question. Thank you, Light Vocation, for that, because this really kind of bringing us back to earth, isn't it? Oh, my God, look what fell out. Look what fell out of my deck. Look, I was just shuffling.
Oh, my God. Oh, look what I got first card up.
What's that? That's not the devil as well, is it?
It's the death. But look at it.
Oh, my God.
And you got the devil and I got death straight up. Ooh, yucky.
It literally fell out. Oh, my God. Let me shuffle the rest. Oh, who'd like to go first on this one? Look at that. It literally fell out.
Oh, shocking.
Shocking. Okay.
Do you want to go, Lady G?
Well, I'm just trying to get the last thing here. But let me see if I can ramble through this real quick. Well, what we have here is the dark money, enterprises. The challenge is, hanging up the government, putting it something different. And then we have of course, the government looking at it. We have the ugly Republicans, and we have Star, which is usually my thing for 45, or MAGA. In this case, is kind of eating away at it. So hopefully that means that they will vote against it, and it will be defeated. We're hoping. If we get enough of the MAGA stuff eaten away, we'll be able to overcome it.
Wow. Lena, what do you have? What are your cards? Hopefully better than mine.
Like I said, my opening card was the death card, symbolizing the death of democracy. If this goes through,
right,
it is the end. Okay, we won't have work here anymore on YouTube. It's all over. I'm joking, but not. You know what I mean. It is so important. I get fire. Okay, people walking through the fire. here to do it. I suspect they may even get a first draft through here. The unwanted offer might go through. It becomes a watershed as people belatedly, this is the Two of Swords crossroads, go, oh, okay, while I went to sleep last night, the experiment in democracy in America is in fact over. Right. And I think that could lead to a major wake-up call, and it might be the thing that actually makes people surge to the polls. There could actually be a challenge with this to the Supreme Court from the people or something, an unprecedented challenge.
Yeah, something huge, something huge,
like you say with those eclipses.
Yeah, because as you know, like obviously I do the tarot, but do the astrology as well, Neo-Vedic astrologer, and these are, the alignments are astonishing. Because I actually forgot that bit, that SCOTUS will be coming back in October, and that is when the solar eclipse happens, and the sun, the solar eclipse is all about government, rules, regulations, something coming out of the dark as well. The eclipses are very unpredictable. On a personal level, sometimes they can be wonderful, but they're always tricky. They're always surprising. They always twist and turn in a way that you may not expect. All a decent astrologer can say is that it's going to be significant. And then they happen 2 weeks apart, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, and the lunar eclipse was exactly on the 8th of November. When it's just astonishing. So what I'll do is I'll quickly go through mine. Look at that. As you saw me shuffling, a card fell out of the deck when we're talking about it, and there it is, the devil. Yeah, this symbolizes exactly what this is all about. This SCOTUS has no interest in democracy. They want some, basically quasi-Christian caliphate. And essentially at this stage, the Taliban need to be suing for copyright because all of their ideas are being stolen right now, and then some. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Look at the obstacle, the law itself.
Yes, yeah.
It's literally,
yes.
The issue is the devil is with the law.
Yes, yes.
We can literally look at it like that. The devil and the law have become one. That's the way that I see that.
Can I add to that? Dina says in the comments, we need a constitutional scholar to see if it's even legal. I think that ship has sailed. What is legal and what is legal? They will go ahead anyway. So it's up to the people in huge numbers to put a stop to this. We can't wait another 4 years for some legal challenge. It has to be a massive groundswell of people reclaiming their democracy.
Absolutely.
Massive.
Absolutely. If we look here, look, we've got the embattled person, but look, when it's the right way up, you're there, and you stand a chance of fending everything off. But here, this can mean overwhelm. So it's almost like the darkness is trying to absolutely overwhelm the will of America. They want people to give up. Yeah, that's what they want. But there's judgment. Yeah, we see judgment. Could this be really when eyes are really fully open to the realities? And if we look here as well, we've got the Four of Wands here. Now, this can also mean the White House or the institutions, institutions, stability and stuff like that. And it's been turned on its head. So kind of like, Lena was saying, if this goes through, I don't know that what else can we conclude? It was the Four of Wands, which can mean like the White House or democracy turned on its head. So I really hope that is not the case. Let's really hope that is not the case. But thanks for that question, Light Vocation. I think it's one of the most
amazing.
So far. That was
so important, and we have to follow it up individually on our channels. I think it's the biggest issue.
It is the biggest. Shall we quickly see what Shakespeare has to say about?
Please.
Let's do a quick one and see if we can squeeze in 2 more. I'd like to see if we can get 6 done. All right. Okay. I'm flicking. One of you just tell me when to stop.
Go ahead, Lena.
Stop.
Ooh. Let's see. If I prove honey-mouthed, let my tongue blister.
Oh,
Ooh. Isn't that interesting? And that's from A Winter's Tale.
say it again.
So if I prove honey-mouthed, let my tongue blister. Now, isn't that interesting? Because that talks about what? Lying.
Yeah.
Yes.
And honey-mouthed, sweetness. Do you remember they said, we're not going to touch Roe versus Wade. It's settled. It was all sweet. You know?
Yes.
And then we get this blistering. I just find that very, very interesting. And the other page says here, more of your conversation would infect my brain.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And that's from Coriolanus.
Oh, my God. I've never heard that phrase.
Quite interesting, isn't it? They're quite sophisticated, but
because it's saying what they're saying is one thing and what they're doing is another.
Absolutely, yeah, because it's saying more of your conversation would infect my brain.
Exactly. The more they speak, the more rot they speak.
Absolutely, and the more rotten it is, and this is all about speech. They're proclaiming all. I think that's very interesting. Very interesting.
Before we leave that, Edith, I think, sums up the sentiment by saying, vote, 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 vote. Don't be lazy or disheartened, because this is important. You just hit on it before. They want people to just be worn out and give up.
Yeah,
they want people to give up.
So I advise everybody who can vote, vote, and help someone else to vote, because that doubles your vote.
Of course, indeed.
If you can help someone register and get to a polling booth and do it, you're doubling your vote.
Indeed, indeed. So I just want to squeeze in maybe one or two, and especially because Nicola really wanted to get this question in. So this is a cracker. Okay, so shout out to Nicola. And question number 5. So here, now I'm going to read this through. I might have to read it through once or twice, but this is really interesting. So it came in from last week, so it's been waiting since last week. So question, Ginni Thomas, after getting out of a cult, then became a deprogrammer. Yeah, did you hear about this? So she actually, believe it or not, she became a deprogrammer. And was involved, but here we are, came out of a cult, then became a deprogrammer that was involved in teaching others to do the same. Yeah. So she was in a cult, realized she was in a cult, became a deprogrammer, and taught others to do the same. But this is the really interesting part. However, with the behavior of the MAGA base, did she work with Trump, Duck LaRange, to use techniques to influence their supporters? Although banned, would they have resorted to subliminal messaging? Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Let's just pull some cards on that. And I'm going to use my black and white deck for this one because Ginni is particularly sinister. So essentially, would she have used her skills in deprogramming almost as a way to then program others? Do you know what I mean? Turning it around on its head. Let's see. And then we might be able to squeeze in one more. Ginni Thomas. What's the energy around Ginni Thomas? Messaging with Duck LaRange. Because we know she was everywhere. I mean, I've looked at her. I think I've looked at her chart. Yeah, I've looked at her chart, and it's just she has had a big influence on a lot of things.
Yes.
Ginni Thomas.
Will I go?
Go for it.
Go ahead.
I get her as the Queen of Pentacles first up, which is that she is a powerful woman, far more powerful than we like to think. You know,
definitely.
She does have influence. She treats the public as children. This is the jester or the page, which would suggest just as we allegedly teach children the right thing, we can program them. So there is that energy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the answer is yes, in a general sense. It might not be technique 1, 2, and 3, but it's happening, and it's unfinished business.
Mhm.
It's still going on. How to get your people to receive information, however bad that information is. You already make sure you know how you want them to receive that information. Does that make sense? And it's a war. As far as she's concerned, it's a war, and no holds barred.
Yeah.
Wow. Lady G, what do you have?
Okay, well, in the past, she was slice and dice and reprogram them, because now she's in the lap of luxury. She's prominent. The challenge is she's continuing to work on things behind the scenes.
Going on.
Always. Double-edged sword. She puts out a lot of, illusory and deep state conspiracy stuff, all of that things. She's one that will stand up and speak out, and the clarification was that that's what she's contracted to do. She will continue to put forward this stuff and just skew things for the repugly uglies.
Yeah, very, very, very much. And someone just echoing about the lack of time. So the cards that I've got. So I'm going to quickly read this, and we'll see if we can squeeze in one more, because one person has got a Biden question. Yeah, so I'll whip through this.
Yes.
So if we look here, 2 of Pentacles. Yep, the juggler. She's the juggler. Ginni Thomas has been far more significant to all of this
than we realize.
Yeah. Really almost like the mastermind, juggling. She's been doing the contacts, literally the money, again, for entertainment purposes only. As we know, she's not in the court. But what the cards are saying is that we're seeing someone here that is a bit of a master manipulator, able to juggle several different things at once. If we look here, we've got the, the Knight of Wands, surging forward and stuff like that. When it's the right way up. So on one level, you could say, that could be the insurrection trying to surge forward. But here it's become reversed, which means she was trying to what? Stop something.
Yeah.
Stop what? The transfer of power. That's how I interpret that, because wands are all about what? Inspiration. Going forward, inspiration. If we look here, we see her literally embodied here as the Queen of Wands.
Yeah.
And the Queen of Wands is known as also, among many other things, not only a businesswoman and entrepreneur, but the great socialite. Yeah, the great socialite, the one that gathers everyone together. Yeah, in the parties, all that kind of stuff. But if we look here, a major arcana, the moon. Yeah, so what kind of gatherings has she been doing? Secret ones by moonlight, clandestine gatherings. And she spent a lot of time, we've got the Hermit here, deeply researching that. And in fact, she's doing that right now, preparing all of her arguments and this, that, and the other, she's still working away. Yeah.
And also, it wasn't just her. So right from the early days of 2015, it was Manafort, who in many ways is the evil genius. And he was the one who said to Trump, who was a very poor candidate, we forget, right? Said, tell them they're the forgotten people. People love that.
Poor candidate.
Right? And that works a treat. And then he said, tell them you'll build a wall, keep those mechanisms. So people are very susceptible, and you didn't have to be an intellectual giant to actually fool a lot of the people. You just had to appeal to that bit of them that felt disenfranchised and unheard.
Indeed, indeed. So, okay, we are quite pressed for time here. So this is a quick one. Shall we maybe do a 1-card pull?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do that. So the question was quite simple. Now, this is coming from last week, but it's still relevant to this week. And this was Lisa Steinheiser. Would you all please read on Biden's health? Now, as we know, he got COVID last week. seemed to recover, and it's just come back again. Have you? That's just something that they mentioned. So let's just do a 1-card pull on that and just see, check in with him, make sure that he's doing all right, because he needs his rest. This is an intense time to be a leader, an intense time. So let's see what we've got. I'm pulling 1 card in regards to Biden's health. What do we have? Just wishing him a speedy recovery. You seem to be in good spirit with the dog, so I'm not too worried. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you have? Yeah. All right. Let's reveal what you got. I get
the Magician.
I got the Tower.
Wow. How interesting. So the way I'm going to interpret the moon is that the moon, particularly when reversed, can actually deal with ill health.
And reversed.
Yeah.
But what this also says as well, this says to me, he is under a lot of mental stress.
Yeah.
Everything that is going on. So anyway, so I'll put that there. Lady G, do you want to go next?
Oh, well, I just thought we were going to put them together.
Oh, yeah, but you got the Tower. But did you want
the Tower? So, things are rocky.
Yeah, unexpected.
Yeah. We'll just put it that way, rocky.
Yeah, I think it's a challenging time. And Lena?
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. The Magician, I would like to think it's suggesting he will resurrect from this. I think he's in a very difficult place.
Yeah.
It seems very, very, very challenging. So there we are.
Oh, he's off his heart meds.
Oh, I didn't know he had heart meds. Oh, okay.
He's off his heart meds to prevent clotting. COVID causes microclotting. Okay.
Right.
So it's a bit of a compromise. Life vocation got the Strength card, bless.
Oh, okay. So basically, we'll have to see. You see, our cards are quite mixed. I got the moon reversed. Lady G got the Tower, and then Lena got the Magician. So let's see. He needs to. I would say he needs to rest. Particularly, there's certain things in Biden's chart which I covered in a previous video where I was looking at all these factors together. So just sending prayers, sending energy,
prayers to Biden.
Yeah, exactly. Because this is a tumultuous time, because we know what certain people are up to, and especially when it comes to graveside whatnots with Duck Larange. Honestly, that man is just absolutely beyond. So can you believe it? The hour has gone so rapidly.
Went in a blink.
In a blink. So what I would say is just to do a quick shout out. So I've got some free reading stuff coming up. So Corrine, so people, my Chalice of Light membership and stuff like that, your readings are coming up. Everyone that left a question that we weren't able to answer tonight, we basically got through 6, which is good. They've been moved over to next week, and they are excellent. But again, we'll tap into them next week. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this evening. That was a real action-packed show, and there was some big laughs in there as well. I'm still going to be tittering about some of that. Duck Larange, what can we say? So thank you, everyone, for all those donations. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the show as well. I hope you pulled cards at home. Lena, thank you so much for joining us on your Sunday in Australia. And of course, Ganga, thank you as well. Lady G, for joining us and sharing your gifts. Thank you. And we will see you next week. More questions, of course, to come. More cray to come in the world. Let's all hold on to our underwear and vote. Don't give up. Yes, don't give up. All right. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you next week. All right.
Cheers.
Bye.